Alright, today's lesson is lesson 1-9. Our objective today is just to be able to divide rational numbers. And because we are doubling lessons, we will start with question 5. Remember, we are only doing the odd numbers in this section. So if you look at problem 5, you'll notice in letter A, you have something here called a complex fraction. These complex fractions can get really, really tricky. They scare a lot of students, but all you have to do, guys, is rewrite them, which is what I'm about to show you how to do now. So for the first one, we'll just pull it out of this complex fraction form and write it out to the side. Remember, I like to put my negatives in the numerator, and we'll write it out like this, which you guys are used to seeing it as. Now, look, you have a fraction and you have a mixed number. We need these numbers to be in the same form. So why don't we go ahead and use our backwards C method and convert this 1 1/3 to an improper fraction. So 1 times 3 is 3. Plus 1, I get 4/3. Okay, so this is your new math problem, and from this point we will just do a keep, change, and flip it. So our new math problem will look like -2/7 times, and then we will flip to multiply by this reciprocal, so it will be 3/4. And we will just completely multiply it straight across. -2 times 3 is -6. 7 times 4 is 28. Now, next, you can't just leave this here and think you are finished. What we will need to do now is to simplify this fraction, okay? So let's see if it's divisible by 2. Will 2 go into 6? Yes, it will. It will go into there 3 times. So we will place a negative, and it will go in 3 times. Now, how many times will 2 go into 28? 14 times. So our final answer here would be -3/14 for question A. All right, let's move on now to question B. Question B, again, is in that complex fraction form. So let's rewrite it the way that we are used to seeing it. So -3/5, we can keep it the same, divided by 2 1/4. Let's go ahead and convert this to an improper. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So I now have 9/4. Okay? Now, we will do the keep it, change it, flip it. So our new math problem turns into -3/5 times, and we will flip 9/4 to be 4/9. And we'll multiply it straight across. -12/45. Okay? Now we need to ask ourselves, will this reduce? Okay? We can't leave them unless they are in their most simplest form. So let's try 3. I think 3 will go into both. 3 will go into 12 4 times. And don't forget the negative. And grab that calculator and let's say 45, divide 3 and see how many times 3 goes into it, which will be 15. Okay. And lastly will be question C. -9/10 divided by, and we'll go ahead and convert this again to that improper fraction. So 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 3, so I get 8/5. Then we'll do the keep, change, flip. So we will keep negative 9 over 10, change to multiplication, and flip to be 5 over 8. And we will multiply it straight across. Okay? And this will simplify as well. I'm going to try the number 5. See if they're divisible by 5. 5 will go into negative 45, negative 9 times. 5 will go into 80. Let's see, 80 divided by 5, we should get 16 as our final. There we go. All right, for question 7, same thing. We just need to rewrite this complex fraction in the form that we're used to seeing it in. So I'm going to go ahead and put that negative in the numerator where I like it. Negative 4/5 divided by 3/10. Then we'll do our keep, change it, flip it. And we're ready to multiply it straight across. And we will get negative 40 over 15. Now, look at this one. This time we have this improper fraction. On the previous problems, we just needed to simplify. Well, here we have an improper fraction, and we cannot leave it like that. So what I like to do is say 15 will go into 40 how many times? 15 will go into 40 2 times, right? 2 times. With how many left over? That would be 10 left over, right? With 15. Now, take a look at this new answer of ours. Won't 10 over 15 reduce even more? Yes, they are both divisible by 5. So our final answer here would have to be 2 and 5 will go into 10 2 times. 5 will go into 15 3 times. So 2 and 2/3 is our final, but do not forget this negative. So negative 2 and 2/3 is our final answer. Okay, looking at question 9, we have Derek says that the quotient should be negative 1/3. What is the correct quotient and what mistake did he possibly make? Okay, I am not concerned with B right now. I just need you guys to master the steps for this particular problem. So as long as you can get me the correct quotient, we will be fine here. So let's place the negative in the numerator, 2 over 7. And instead of division, let's go ahead and change it to multiplication. And instead of a negative 2 over 21, we will flip it and it will be negative 21 over 2. And we can just multiply it straight across. 2 times 21, both of them being negative, we would get a positive 42. And then 7 times 2, we would get 14. Now, because it is an improper fraction, we need to see how many times 14 will go into 42. So we will divide that out, and hopefully you will notice you get a nice whole number of 3. Okay, complete the table, simplify the expressions. Now for this problem, because I am limited with the space that I can use to show my work, I am going to just give you the answers here, but before I do so, make sure you understand that this question wants to know what the dividend is and what the divisor is. Some of you may not know that, so I'm going to go ahead and make a note for you. The dividend is your numerator, which will go in the top of your fraction, and your divisor is your denominator, which will go in the bottom of your fraction. So all you're doing, guys, is just dividing these two numbers. And if you would like, you can give me a decimal as your final solution, or you could give me the fraction answer. But for the first one here on letter A, we will get a -1 7/8 as our answer. Or if you give it to me in a decimal form, it would be -1.875. For the problem B, you would just get a nice decimal, which would be -1.875. And lastly, for letter C, same thing, -1 7/8. Or you could give me the decimal. All right, for question 13, use the numbers, which is the reciprocal of 1 and 6/7. Question B, which is the reciprocal of 7/13. And question C, we can mark this out for now. Let's just worry about these two, A and B. Okay. For question A, it's hard to get a reciprocal of something unless that number is either in a fraction form or an improper fraction. Right now we have a mixed number, so it's very hard to do unless we convert it to improper. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 6. I get 13/7. And if it asks what is the reciprocal of 13/7, then our answer would be to just flip it, which would be 7/13. For question B, what would be the reciprocal of 7/13? We would just flip it, and it would be 13/7. All right, for question 15, find the quotient. Okay, well, you have one number here in a fraction form, and you have one in a decimal form. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and place an understood 1 under that to make it a fraction, and then I will just use my keep, change, flip strategy. So I will keep my 3/10, change my operation to multiplication, and flip to get 1/3.8. Now I can simply multiply straight across. 1 times 3, I get 3. 10 times 3.8, I get 38. Now this fraction will not simplify, so 3/38 will be our final solution. Okay, question 17. Kayla wants to find the following. She first rewrites the division as the following. What is wrong with her reasoning? Well, sounds to me that she needed to make these guys an improper fraction. Look at what she did from this mixed number here to this mixed number here. Can we do that? Can we just flip the fraction around when it's a mixed number like that? No, you cannot. She should have made one of them at least an improper fraction. So let's write it like this. She needed So had she have done that, we would have gotten negative 10 over 7. Then she would have flipped it to become negative 7 over 10. Okay, for question 19, it says explain each step, guys. You don't have to do that. You can just simply work this for me and get your final answer. So what I will do first is convert both of these mixed numbers to improper fractions. So 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17 over 8. And for this next one, 5 times 6 is 30 plus 4 is 34 over 5. And then we will do our keep it, change it, flip it. And we'll multiply it straight across. So we will have 17 times 5, which is 85, and 8 times 34, which is 272. And we will leave it at that. Alright guys, I hope you now feel comfortable with dividing rational numbers. Make sure if you need help or need extra guidance that you reach out to me, guys. Thanks.